Hey everybody, it's Micah with Memberium, and today we get the pleasure of talking to Scott, who is the IT expert for Strength Sensei, and Scott's agreed to give us a peek behind the scenes of a membership site that he manages and share some insights about building and managing that site. He's using Memberium, and they've been very successful, so I'm excited to talk with him. I hope you are too. Scott, thanks for joining us.
No problem. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you coming on. Can you tell me a little bit, first of all, just about the business itself, and then we'll talk about your involvement. So just a little background on it.
Yeah, so our business is Strength Sensei. It's owned and operated by a man named Charles R. Poliquin. He's arguably the most renowned strength coach on the entire planet. He's trained over 400 Olympic medalists in over 23 different sports, and he's been traveling around the world for the last few years teaching other people to become strength coaches because he wants to leave a legacy behind where someone can take his place when he's gone.
Awesome, amazing. And you've been there how long?
I've been with him for 2 years now.
Okay, cool. And your background, I asked briefly before the call, but I want to talk a little bit more about that. So you have a background in IT. Tell us what you were doing.
So before I came to work for Charles, I actually worked at Hewlett-Packard for, oh man, almost 10 years as a storage area and network administrator, which means that I basically took giant cabinets full of computer hard drives, divvied up the space on them, and presented them to various other servers that needed that storage space. And it could be even across data centers. So like I might have storage in one data center on one side of the street, and it's presenting storage to a server on a data center on the other side of the street.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it also allows easy disaster recovery, because not only is it presenting that storage to a server here, but that storage is also backed up across the network to another location, that could be all the way across the country. That way, if a disaster happened at this location, all the storage is over there, and it could be immediately presented to servers and brought online and have, just a couple hours of downtime.
Gotcha. I see. So obviously you're very, very technical. How was it coming into this business? I mean, as far as the marketing end, and also do you manage Infusionsoft for him?
I do manage Infusionsoft for him as well, and that was quite the learning curve for me, because Infusionsoft is quite powerful, but once you start to learn where things are, it becomes easy to use. It's got a few nuances that you have to be careful of, and I learned those along the way too. But other than that, I mean, I've had a lot of help from the other people on the team that are pretty smart about making things, work and what sells and what doesn't.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So let's talk about this membership site. I brought you on the call because you were on office hours a couple of weeks back, and it sounds like you guys are just killing it. Are there some, results that you can share of how many members you guys have or what you're doing?
Well, we actually just finished our last launch of the year. So you'll notice on the screen right now, it says join the Strength Dojo before September 11th. So we actually only open up our membership 3 times a year for people to join, and it's usually for a week or less. And whenever we first launched the dojo last year in January, it was our very first time at an online membership community. And we threw in there, what we thought people would want to see and, what they might be interested in, but we really didn't do any research to begin with. We just threw it together and said, let's see what it does. In that first year, due to surveys and whatnot, well, let me go back. In that first year, we acquired, I want to say it was like 250, 300 people. So it really wasn't this big bang of, hey, we're doing fantastic. Just didn't work that way. So through surveys and other things of the people that were in the dojo, we discovered that the content we were offering was way too broad. It didn't have a specific target audience. So what we did is, based on those surveys, January of this year, we relaunched the dojo. So now our previous 1 year's content, we're not adding anything new to that at all. However, we do sell that as an upgrade to people that may be interested in it as part of the, funnel. But upon interviewing all of those people, and getting their feedback, and they were happy to provide it, we learned that we really had 3 different target audiences. We have one, and we refer to it as our strength package. And that's for your average Joe that just, wants to know more about how to train properly, wants a little nutrition information, basically wants a program given to him so he can go to the gym and work out. And we actually target that one. I'm going to scroll down my sales page here real quick. You can see it right here. We target that one at $19.97 a month or $199.70 a year. So it's really, not that expensive. And from our sales page here, you can see how we join, what kind of information we're going to give you. We've got some testimonials spread out across the top here. Some marketing language about how this is the next best thing. You're taking an internship with him. And then we break it down right here as to what each package offers, and what you get in the strength package, a powerful executive, or the high performance package. And then of course it goes into more, showing you exactly what you get out of each one. Our second package is the powerful executive here at $39.97 or $399.70 a year. And that one it's literally designed for people that are executives. We give them a fat loss program and a strength program every month where, they can pick whichever one they want to do and follow it. We also give them videos that they may find useful in their daily life. Like one of our most popular videos was how to overcome jet lag while traveling. Things that executives face. And then our final package over here, the high performance package, you see it's actually at a decent price point at $80 a month or $800 a year. And believe it or not, that's the one that we have the most people in. And the reason we have the most people in there is because Charles has always been the kind of person that trains other people to become strength coaches. So we've always, we've already had a firm grasp on that trainer target audience. And that's what this one is. It's targeted at the trainers. It comes with a ton of information that they may find useful. So if I flip over here, this is showing me what a user might get access to. So like right now I'm logged in as my user account, and you'll see that I can see the Legacy Dojo, the Strength Package, and the Powerful Executive, but I don't see the High Performance. Okay, and that's where our targeted market came in. To get exactly the people we wanted in each group. And because we did that at January of this year, at the end of our current launch, we now have 1,800 members, spread out throughout the different packages.
Man, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah. And a lot of those members have actually purchased multiple packages. So like we've got, I think it's 10 different people that purchased the Strength Package, the Powerful Executive, and the High Performance.
Oh, wow.
Because they want all of it.
Yeah, just diehards.
I mean, and if you want to see real quick, I'll show you what I mean about too broad of a target, based on our legacy compared to current.
Sure.
So the legacy is the content we had on our very first launch for 1 year. And if you come in here, you'll see that right here on month 1, we've got a video from Matt Winning on how to do reverse hypers. We've got a metabolic conditioning program. We've got a video here, Anatomy of the Elbow Flexors, that goes into great detail about all the muscles that attach to the elbow. We've got a custom-built calculator here that tells you how strong you are in the back squats. We've got an arm routine that Charles put together for Les Gooches, a wrestling, phenom. We've got an article here on 5 different variations of the squat, an article on how to journal properly, and a video showing one of the best gyms in the world.
This is perfect. This is best practice of just slap them in the face with a bunch of random subjects, right?
Right. That's exactly what it was, because we didn't know any better.
No,
and like I say, we've got 14 months of content in here that's exactly the same way.
That's funny. And it's all just random subjects grouped
Yep.
into months, not really based on anything, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's always fun to look back at this and laugh, but kind of at the time you're doing it, it's like, yeah, this is great. This is going to work,
And it didn't do too bad for a first go, primarily just because of Charles' following. That's the only reason that it did so well initially.
Well, and there's something I want to kind of bring up that I beat to death maybe a little bit, but I just love that you still have the legacy in here so people can see, once again, you didn't start knowing all this. You started where you were, you did your best, you had some success, you iterated, and now you have this insight to know what to put into the stuff. So I want to know a little bit more about, if you go into the strength package or the powerful executive package, what are some of the differences? So obviously in the legacy, it's all random stuff. In these types of packages, is there a progression? What's going on?
Yes, there is. These are designed with progression in mind. So whenever you initially sign up, you actually have access to bonus here and to month 1 and nothing else. Okay. And the bonus, you'll notice right at the top, is how to read a training program. So that's the very first thing we give people, because they need to know how to read a training program that we offer them. Because every month they get a strength gain and a fat loss program. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then there's also an article or a video on nutrition in here for them every month. So like, is diet more important than training for muscle gains?
Hmm.
So yeah, basically, as soon as they sign up, we give them access to everything. We email them right away, and we tell them, hey, look, you're allowed to sign up. Here's where you can log in. Here's your username. Here's your password. We highly recommend the very first thing you watch is the How to Read a Training Program video. And then when you're done with that, you can peruse it, pick your category, whether you want to do fat loss or strength gain, and go from there.
And when you say they pick fat loss or strength gain, are they actually doing something, or they're just kind of making the decision that they're going to be choosing those videos?
So they're actually choosing to do a program that either is focused on losing fat or gaining muscle.
And how,
Because you can do both at the same time, but it's much easier to do one at a time.
and so how are they making that choice? I'm asking, like, do they click something and a tag is applied, or what do they
Nope,
do?
it's a personal choice. So we give them both options right off the bat.
Okay.
So what you see right here is what they would normally have access to as soon as they've bought and they log in.
Gotcha. Cool.
So
And
now that person says, okay, I'd like to lose a little bit of weight, so they read our how to read, or they watch our how to read a training program video, and then they say, okay, I'm going to start with fat loss now because that's my primary goal. So they would click on fat loss just like this, and it comes in. We tell them exactly how the program's done, and then we go through exactly what the program is. Here pictures of it, a video of exactly how the exercise is done, how many sets, reps, tempo, how much rest in between each set, and it's literally a whole program for an entire month. And at the bottom, they can download it. That way they can take it to the gym with them, and write in exactly how much weight they're using and, how many reps they're doing to keep track.
this is really funny because actually this would be a great program for me. I've thought about that a couple times. I'll go to a personal trainer here and there. Like I fit your thing of, well, I want to stay in shape, but I have no clue what I'm doing. So even your question at the beginning of month one is, what's better as far as diet or exercise? I have wondered that even in the past couple days. So I love that, it starts off with stuff that's more relevant for a beginner, kind of getting them
Right.
where they're at. What is the difference with some of the other, can we have a peek inside the Powerful Executive and maybe inside the other program as well, and why those are different?
Sure. Before we get there, though, I was going to tell you, if we drip content. So like I said, someone who signed up on this last launch,
Mm-hmm.
they only gain access to month one. And then on the same day, every month, they gain access to another month's material.
Gotcha.
Okay. So not only did they start here, but because of that, once they make it to month two, the month two programs build off of the month one programs, to give you a proper progression to keep going.
Gotcha. That's perfect. And how far does it go?
We have enough content in here right now. I can't see it on this account, but we have 9 months of content currently, and people are viewing number 8. They'll actually start viewing number 9 in 10 days.
Okay, so you're in that fun mode of building your way forward. That's cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so and I know you went through what's in the packages, but from I'm curious, yeah, when you come in here, the navigation. Okay, month one, beat the blues. So you're not starting in this package with that same question. We got some different stuff.
Right. So if you sign up for the Powerful Executive package, you get an email, same thing. It says, here's your login information. You can log in here. The email actually says the same thing. You should pick if you want to do strength training or fat loss. And we recommend starting with how to read a training program, and that we hope you enjoy the videos that are, that will help you find a gym while traveling, or, overcome depression, things like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's cool.
So that's what the Powerful Executive, it's basically the same thing. They pick fat loss or strength gains. And again, it's a fully laid out program, pictures, videos, everything. And you'll see that whenever I go into one, I still get the rest of the month over here on the left. So not only can I pick my workout program, but let's say, I want to beat the blues. So I can click on that one, and it comes up, and here's a video of Charles explaining how to beat the blues. And it's the entire video is laid out right here in text as well.
That's awesome.
And the reason we lay it out in text as well is because a lot of our people don't speak English as a first language.
Oh, so use a translator?
Yep.
That is smart, actually. Yeah, just transcribing as a first step, or like you're doing outlining. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's one of the things we had to start doing because we have members in 67 countries.
Man, this is good stuff. So what's interesting to me about what I'm seeing so far is I don't see the typical motivational stuff. Is it that the clients who are buying this are motivated and they just need to know how?
Right. That's exactly what it is.
So what is, if we can go back, I think your launch said
Mhm.
something like get in before this day or whatever. How initially or where is he getting clients? Like what is the headline that's capturing or speaking to the audience that he's after?
So there actually is no headline. People sign up on our free website where we offer a ton of information right here. So on our free website, you can get articles about anything you want, literally. And then once they've read the articles for a little while, they come to realize that Charles knows exactly what he's talking about, and everything he says gets excellent results. And because they've signed up over here, and we email them weekly with our newsletter, then whenever we open up the window, we send out an email to everybody on our mailing list and say, hey, this is now open. If you want to join, here's the link.
Gotcha. Okay. And I guess what I'm realizing, and I should have realized this earlier, but if they're after strength training, so I'm looking at this here, strength training and nutrition, it probably means they're already motivated. They just, yeah. So it's
Right.
different than the typical like lose weight, kind of
Mm-hmm.
deal. No, very cool. So what, aside from the content in the site, what are some of the other ways that he interacts? Is there live stuff going on, or what did you do
There
there?
is. So our high performance package, which like I said, you can't see from this one, but I can take you to it from my admin account. So our high performance package, which is the one for our trainers that I mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see there's more stuff over here. Okay. So what they get every month is right here off the bat, they get a 1 hour video or webinar right off the bat that tells them, something they need to know about being a trainer. So like on month 1, they learn how to choose the correct choice and order of exercises in a program. Then they get 2 short videos. On month 1, it's learning to be the best in the field and tips to find a mentor. They also get strength training and fat loss programs that are designed for them or for them to use with their clients. Because a lot of people don't realize that strength coaches are great at building programs for other people, but most of them suck at building a program for themselves. So even
Yeah,
Charles, who's the best in the world at this, he has someone else write his programs for him.
yeah, that makes,
Because otherwise we're stuck in our ways and we do the same thing over and over again.
yeah.
And then right here at the bottom, you see I got Q&A 1.
Mm-hmm.
So every month we do a live 60-minute Q&A where people can sign on and they can ask any question they want answered.
And do you do that on Facebook, through Zoom? How do you do that?
It's done through GoToWebinar.
Okay, cool. So they get the content, they're getting some live stuff. Does he do any one-on-one coaching? Like, is there a higher level of members out of this group that you're sending?
So out of this group, no, this is specifically for our online, but on top of everything else, we do classes, in-person classes.
Mm-hmm.
So like right here, different like biomechanical assessment, mastery of program design. These are 3 and 4 day classes that he teaches in person. And he also does one-on-one consulting that people can buy as well. But
Gotcha.
that's not sold through our membership site. That's completely separate.
Okay, I've got kind of a series of questions here. Just some curiosities, I guess. So what would you say is maybe one of the bigger mistakes that you made building the site, or something you'd change if you could go back?
Not doing our research to begin with. We basically wasted a year because we said, well, people want this information, but we didn't target it to the right groups, and it cost too much for some people and not enough for others. So if we would go back and start all over from scratch, we would have done the research to begin with because we already had the people we could email and ask them what they wanted, and we would have built our 3 packages instead of going with all of it in one.
Okay, I see. So research for you would have been, it sounds like, kind of an email survey of, hey, and I'm just kind of curious, it sounds like you've thought this through. Would that be, hey, which of these programs would you buy, or what would you buy? And the reason I'm asking is if someone's out there and they're thinking of starting a site and they're watching this thinking, oh man, maybe I should hold on a minute and do some research, what are some practical steps you would tell them to take?
Well, if they already have a good email list of people that are interested in their products, which I think most people who are trying to launch a membership site, they probably already have a free site, so they already have an email list. Yeah, it would be to put together a quick survey. And whenever I say quick survey, personal results have shown that it has to take less than 2 minutes to fill out. And if it takes less than 60 seconds, it's even better because people don't want to spend a lot of time. But it's ask them, which of these would you be willing to buy, and at what price point? Because they may be willing to buy, an hour online Q&A for $80 a month, but they may not be, willing to spend $80 a month for a workout program.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then once you know what people are willing to buy and at what price point, then you can move forward from there with putting together the correct packages and targeting the right people.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's the simplest form of market research, right? Just ask.
Yep.
Very
Works every time.
So one or two other questions for you. Aside from the market research piece of this, like let's say somebody does that, what other advice would you give to someone who's just getting started building a membership site?
Find someone who's done it before and either get them to become your mentor or hire them for a consultation. because starting out, it's not heck, it's not the easiest thing. It's quite daunting. And if you've got someone who's been there before, then they can help you understand that you need to know what your end goal is in mind before you can actually start at the beginning. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to do this and start right at the start, and then all of a sudden you're nowhere near the way you pictured this thing being. But if you know what the end should look like, it's much easier to deconstruct it and get your path to get there.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. So on this site, what another question that comes to mind that I usually ask is, are you using any special plugins that you think are really making a big difference? I mean, it seems, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but it seems fairly basic, like not too many fancy, flashy things going on. It just seems well thought out. Like the content's good, the layout and so forth is good, but not fancy. What are you doing behind the scenes, if anything? Like what plugins are you using back there to make this happen?
The only plugins we're using is Memberium. I mean, as far as the membership site's concerned, nothing else. It's like you said, it's very basic. That's what our people want. They don't want anything fancy. They just want it to work, and it to work quickly. And the more plugins you have, the slower it gets, the longer it takes to load. So we kept all of that fancy stuff out and gave our customers exactly what they wanted and nothing more.
Beautiful, and it's just working. So,
yep.
Man, love to hear it. If people are interested in joining this program or whatever, I know you said it kind of opens and closes. What should they go do? Like what's if someone's interested in getting stronger in training or even in just checking out your membership site to see what it does, where should they go?
If they want, it depends on what they want. If they want to know more about how it runs and whatnot, they could just send me an email. It's scott@strengthsensei.com. Pretty simple. If they want more information about it, they could also send me an email, and we'll put them on our mailing list and let them know when it opens up. Right now, one of the best ways to find out what all is going on is actually on our homepage. Once it loads, so once it loads up, you'll scroll down here and you'll see the Join the Dojo Strength button. It's one of the first things on here. If you click on that, it'll take you to a page. We targeted up with this company, and I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but those cartoon commercials?
Yeah.
They do an awesome job of it, and there's a 2-minute and 23-second video here that explains exactly what the dojo is, and there's a link right here to get on the waiting list, to get a good offer whenever we reopen.
Gotcha. Now this is, now I just love seeing this, and we get all sorts of case studies on here. Some of them are fancy, and we point out all that stuff. But I like seeing, that you guys got started, learned some things, went around to super successful. 1,800 members is amazing, and did it, without overcomplicating the design, the functionality, any of those things. It's just pure, I feel anyways, it's pure useful info. And as somebody who is a potential customer of yours, I'm just looking at how it's laid out, and it's like, yeah, I don't need anything else. I don't need a community. I don't need all these bells and whistles. This is exactly what I need. So bravo on putting together a site that is very useful and simple and successful.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the community. We do actually have a community. So I don't know if you noticed here, but on the regular page, where you can see the legacy, the strength, and all of that, but at the top, there's a forums link.
Aha, let's check it out. So what are you using?
So bbPress. Forgot about that one. Yeah, so whenever you come in here, again, our legacy dojo, those forums, they're inoperable now, but they're there for people to go read what was posted in there. And then of course we have a forum for each of our 3 packages. And if you're a member, you can see that forum and, and communicate in it. But if you're not, you can't. So like on my client's account here, I can see strength and powerful executive, but not high performance. And just by going in there, it's a spot for people to ask their questions about, any of the content in here or anything they want to know about. And Charles spends roughly an hour a day getting on here and answering everything personally.
Oh, wow. Do you guys also have a Facebook group or anything like that, or is this it?
We have multiple Facebook groups, but none of them are for our paying members. They're all for people who have taken courses with us in the past.
Okay, gotcha. Dude, so I'm just going to back up here. So you've got Memberium, you've got bbPress, you've got the Facebook groups, which are for people who bought your course. Now, question there, do they have to keep paying in order to remain a member of those Facebook groups?
So those, no, because those are people that took classes, not courses. So back on our homepage, I mentioned before up here the different classes that we sell. These are actually in-person classes taught by Charles to people that want to be strength coaches. And once you take any of these classes, you get invited to our private group, because now you're one of his trainers and you can ask your personal questions in there, to help get your clients' results or anything that you want to know about.
Very cool. All right, so last question is, what are your plans for the future with this site? What's next?
To keep giving more content than what people's money is actually buying. So that's one of the things that we've learned along the way is if you always underpromise and overdeliver. So we've guaranteed them that they will get a certain amount of content, every month. But then on occasion we throw in something extra just because.
Gotcha. And do you have any idea what how long your average member is staying? How many months?
Right now, our drop-off rate has only been 3%.
Per month, that's your churn rate?
No, 3% total in the last year.
Oh man, that's amazing. Sorry, I'm just kind of floored. That's great.
Everybody says that all the time. Yeah, we don't have a high attrition rate at all. And people that buy our HPP generally stay in there. We've had numerous people, like I said, that started with one and bought the others. We've even had people that started with one and moved from one package to another.
So a couple of things here for everybody watching this video. One is, if you want to get stronger, I would go check this out. And this is more like on a personal, non-business level. But I actually think that most people, going to conferences and whatnot, a lot of people could benefit from working out, even most guys from strength training, just because it gives you more energy to work online and stuff. So I'd recommend everybody go check this out. And, we were only able to jump into some of the details so far, but the results, 1,800 members and only 3% attrition after a year, that's amazing. So that's another reason I would recommend everybody check this out. So again, email him, scott@strengthsensei.com. With any questions, or if you want to just join the list or whatever, or you can check out their website, strengthsensei.com. Scott, thanks again so much for coming on and sharing this with us. I'm still just kind of thinking about it. I don't feel like I've asked everything I should, but I'm just kind of pondering the results here. It's really cool. So thank you again for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me, Mike. It's I actually enjoy sharing the information, and helping people out with this kind of thing.
Well, cool, and we appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody else will as well. So guys, again, and I'll put Scott's email and a link to the site and that sort of stuff below the video. But thanks for watching, Scott. Thanks for being on, and we'll see everybody next time.